Many of you have been waiting. So we'll start with today's session. Today is this session is part of our program from MJ-IAS platform for preparation of psychology. Now, under this endeavor, what we are going to deal is from 26th September up to 14th of January. We will be conducting a program where your concepts will be dealt, the application part will be dealt, there will be sectional tests, there will be full tests, so that it prepares you in a manner for you to score a handsome proportional. That is what I call in psychology, as I have been repeating, 300 plus. Okay. So this is the core aim, main aim of this program which we are going to conduct. We'll talk about the program in detail, but first of all let us understand in the changed scenario, as I have seen the paper of 2023, paper 1 and 2 both, and most of you are part of my Telegram channel. You must have seen the kind of response from many aspirants, many of them who are part of the service, what they have said, what they commented regarding the paper. I would like to summarize, and I'll summarize it in two parts regarding paper 2 and paper 1. Paper 2 first. So paper 2, most aspirants, before even I had seen the paper, they said that most of the questions, in fact some of them said all of the questions, were from the test series and discussion which I took. The test series was going on through two platforms. One is my own platform MJ-IAS, another one at Vajiram and Ravi, where I was the in charge of the psychology test series. There I took certain discussions also. So from the discussion and the tests of MJ-IAS and Vajiram, as aspirants have noted, most of the questions of paper 2 appeared. Most of the questions. Some of them saying that none of the question was out of the purview of the test series. So this inspired me to conduct this program to tell you certain ideas about how to score well in psychology. Paper 1, at least 60% of the questions were from the test series I conducted through my own platform, the test series I conducted at Vajiram and Ravi, and the discussion I took. Apart from that, as I was taking classes in Vajiram Ravi 2022 session, there also certain tests were conducted. So few topics were from those tests. Then I had taken a series of classes rather at Vajiram and Ravi. From there also many questions appeared. Like I can tell you, in the very first class of mine, research methods class, I had jotted down the significance of research method being the backbone, the most significant aspect of the whole research methodology, the whole psychological research framework. Why it is important? How can we say so? Everything was noted down in my first class. So direct question in paper 1 in 2023, that what is the significance of research methods? Why research method is called the backbone of your psychology research paraphernalia, psychology research framework. Now, going through these papers, going through the response of the students, I have devised certain ideas through which we can aim to score 300 plus in psychology. First of all, let us understand what is happening in psychology. Since 2013, the situation of psychology and many other optionals changed. Now, there were no 60 marker, there were no 30 marker. Examiner was supposed to ask many questions. These questions were, most of them were 20 marker, 15 marker, 10 marker. Lot of options to ask question from each and every part of the syllabus. As you can see, the questions asked this year 2023, they are asking direct question from the topic mentioned in the syllabus, psycho-cybernetics. Direct question from psycho-cybernetics as a topic, the use of psycho-cybernetics in psychology. Straightforward question. But you must know the nuances of psycho-cybernetics. Then another question, they are asking use of computer technology in psychological research. So each and every topic and subtopic mentioned in the syllabus is being focused upon. They are asking questions from all of these parts. For that, you need to have fodder. To write these answers, you need to have fodder. How will you write? The fodder will come from the program which we are going to conduct. How? You need to prepare from chapter 1 to 14, psychology paper 1, not only knowing the basics, the fundamentals of each and every topic and subtopic, but having at least 4 to 5 points about each topic. As I have already mentioned during our classes, the concept you must know. Now, when we say concept you must know the concept as if you can reproduce it in the examination. You must know the definitions, you must know the fundamental aspects that you can reproduce in the examination, not going too deep into the uncanny and unnecessary details of each and every topic. As I have given you on my Telegram channel the summary of paper 1, there for each and every topic there are certain points which you can reproduce, which you can write as it is, as given in the notes. That approach is required. So concept, then comes your application. Concept you have understood, then comes the application. Suppose we are talking about, for example, we are talking about the program learning. And regarding program learning also, I would like to cite this. When I was taking the classes, I told the class of 2022 in Vajiram that, see, when you are reading program learning, you must know the concepts of probability learning, because there is high chances, there are high probability that the examiner may compare program learning and probability learning. Straightforward question, program learning and probability learning, compare and contrast, give advantages and disadvantages. Now if you ask those so-called seasoned people who have been teaching psychology since long, they will say there is no connection, there is no need to compare and contrast, these two are different things. As we have already seen, the program learning, probability learning based on Brunswick's concept of the contingencies, the statistical contingencies. Statistical contingency and program learning based on your behaviorist idea. These two have no connection, but examiner has asked you program learning and probability learning both. Now to ensure that, see, the idea of attending any classes or any test series, in my opinion, is if you are spending your time, resources and money, we as teachers must be able to give you some fodder so that you can reproduce the things in the examination. You can ensure that out of 8 questions which you have to, out of 8 questions you have to answer 5. For these 5, at least 4 questions you can guess, or 4 questions are familiar or similar to what you have already studied, to what you have already read. Otherwise, the whole idea of coaching and test series fails, which is happening in most of the platforms. So, rather than going into the unnecessary details of the topics which will never be asked, we should give you the topics which are mentioned in the syllabus. The concept given, application given, then merit and demerit. Now suppose if we are talking about the example of program learning or probability learning, the concept given for program learning, the concept given, behaviorist idea, through the frames, you are going from one frame to another, dividing the whole chapter into various parts, going from one part to another in a successive manner, and for each part you are getting the feedback, and if it is going well, it's okay. If it is not going well, then repetition of the task, this task will be repeated, then again going to the second frame, succession is happening. So chaining is there, shaping is there. The concept you have understood, this much is enough to write a 15 marker, 20 marker. Concept understood, application, where can we apply this? For the learning disabled, or children from disadvantaged section, we can use this program learning. This can be used, right? So you have understood the concept in brief. As I say, in brief you have understood the concept, you have understood the application, what are the merits of using program learning, and the demerits. The demerits, it cannot be applied everywhere. For simplistic task it is possible, not every task can be broken down like this. Then it does not depend, or it does not take into the context the culture, the cultural sensitivity, it does not take into the context the individual differences, it does not take into the context the socialization effects, does not take into the context the intelligence of the teacher. There are many other aspects, the connection, but anyway we'll resume it. Recent trends in decision making. Now this is mentioned as a subtopic in your syllabus, but as far as psychology classes, recent trends are not covered. Nobody bothers about covering the recent trends unless you are told what all are the recent trends. Like, as I have given you the standard solution, which again nobody gives. On my Telegram channel it's available, paper 1 and paper 2 solutions, the model solutions. You see, the decision making recent trends is related with the artificial intelligence, psycho-cybernetics, analogical transfer, and so forth, many other points which are there. But unless you are told that these are the things which can be mentioned here, you cannot be capable of writing it in the examination under the pressure. That is the big deal. Again I will give you another example which again I had covered in my test series. The use of psycho-cybernetics. They have straight away asked the question on psycho-cybernetics. I had asked the question on psycho-cybernetics in my test series under Vajiram or my own test series. Use in successful aging. Now regarding where in that question psychocybernetics concepts are also given. They have straight away asked the concept of psychocybernetics in 15 marker. What is the use of psychocybernetics? Psychocybernetics help, how does it help in psychology? Again, you can frame an answer based on your knowledge, a generic answer, but to know that what is specifically psychocybernetics gives, you must have certain notes. As I had given a precise note of paper 1 much before, not much before the examination, but some of the aspirants were not well prepared as far as notes are concerned, so I prepared a precise notes. In that psychocybernetics points are given. How it will help in, first and foremost, what is psychocybernetics? You will have to understand use of cybernet, that is use of technology. Which technology? Computer and cybernet technology, to understand the psyche, the psychological makeup. And under that, what is studied? Brain. So brain mapping, fMRI, EEG, how does it support decision making, how does it support creativity. These things come under psychocybernetics. Again, the fodder, this much fodder is enough, but it should be told to you, it should be given to you precisely, specifically under the classes itself. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for the aspirants to write an answer, to frame an answer under pressure. So that will be an endeavor, and you should also prepare accordingly. Take the syllabus in front of you, jot down all the topics, chapters, subtopics, prepare 4-5 points under the heading of concept, application, merit, demerit. First part is this. You have done this. Once you have done this, what you need to do? Then you need to connect. Once you have done the good revision, connect the topic. Again, I'll give you an example. The connection of topics. From paper 2, mental health comes under abnormal psychology. Defense, another chapter. While framing the questions, I tried to connect these two in my test series itself. So, there was a question regarding the positive psychology and mental health of defense personnel, especially the veterans who retire from the army. Now here the mental health of defense personnel has been straight away asked by UPSC again. The ability to understand the concept, application, merit, demerit of each and every topic, then to connect these topics so that to understand the nuances. These two smart moves have ensured that most of the questions of paper 2 and a large part from paper 1 appeared as it is, as it was covered in our test series. Now here the role of the coach improves. The role of the coach becomes very crucial, significant. Unlike many other optionals where this is being done by design, by default, or by the fact, by the virtue of the fact that there are so many students appearing for optionals like pol science, sociology, this becomes a natural, general habit. And some students are able to do this and so they prosper. But in psychology, this is not the case. So we must take the responsibility in our hand, and that's why I have tried to bring in this program. I'll tell you certain other nuances of the change which has happened after seeing the 2023 paper, after seeing this 2023 psychology paper. As I have been telling you, the role of syllabus, what is there in the syllabus, although it is verbatim as it is written. Use of computer in research, psychological research. Use of computer technology in psychology, any field, even if it is not psychological research, if you have certain points, you can replicate these points for psychological research also. But you must know the use of computer technology. That is not given in the class notes, even if it is in the handout and many other places. You need to collect, and there is not much time to collect because lots of things are covered and hardly there is any time. Already the classes run 6 months plus at most of the platforms. So, where is the time for the students to collect all this? In the class notes only this should be done. Every part of the syllabus should be covered. Apart from that, the role of the PYQs, as I have already been telling you. Previous year question papers. Previous year question papers are very important. But in which manner? The way previous year question papers are dealt, like many platforms I saw that they are just asking you question, they ask you to write the answer for question which are asked in 2015, 2018, many other years. But the ingenuity which is required is to frame the questions by connecting different questions which were asked in different years of your psychology paper and different topics. So if you do that on your own through our help, it will again help you. So role of PYQs have increased like anything. You must do your syllabus completely, connect the topics, and then your previous year question papers. Now, apart from these things, few things which I have noted by checking the scripts of so many people, some of them who are in service, as you must have seen the comments given regarding my mentorship and discussion and the test series on my Telegram channel. Many people have mentioned that it, because of this program, they were able to organize, they were able to concretize the points, they were able to comprehensively write the answers. So what magic was done? What magic was done? What was the thing which was done? The important aspect is, apart from the PYQs which are the source of most of the questions, even for UPSC, the creative aspect which was brought was not dealing paper 2 separately, but whenever paper 1 is being done, from that only paper 2 needs to evolve. For example, when the learning chapter is being done, there we learn about the concept of systematic desensitization. Now, this systematic desensitization is exposure of the stimuli again and again. This is the person. This here, suppose the content, suppose vulgar content. Shown in media. People are exposed to this, continuously bombarded again and again. What will happen? Their sensitivity towards these topics will decrease or not? Yes, it will decrease. Why it is happening? Role of habituation. Role of habituation is there. Again and again you are being bombarded by this content. You have no empathy for a person who is lying on the road. drenched in the pool of blood because of some or the other accident. You are not going to take the person to the hospital. Why? Because you see that same things are being shown on TV. Behaviorist concept, observation learning, all are involved here. So we are applying the concept of Bandura, observation learning, behaviorist concept. You are not being rewarded for this, because of that you will not do. And this systematic desensitization, this can be applied to which topics? We are going to apply the systematic desensitization to IT mass media, abnormal psychology. You have phobia, fear from certain things. The same things are exposed to you, but in a relaxed manner. In a situation, suppose you have fear from furry animals. So furry animals are shown, or reptiles. Reptiles are shown on the TV, as it is done in which program? Khatro Ke Khiladi. Now see, these examples are very important. Khatro Ke Khiladi. We all are Khatro Ke Khiladi because preparing for IAS, full of vagaries, full of uncertainties. Many students, after writing the paper, they contacted me. Some of them already in IPS, full of anxiety. What will happen? I have done this. Last question I could not do well. This question I could not attempt. This. See, this thing, this being under the constant threat, this becomes a nature when you prepare for UPSC. So you all are Khatro Ke Khiladi, even the teachers are Khatro Ke Khiladi. Don't know what will happen. Optional will be snatched away. Optional will not be there. Vagaries of the kind of optional. So many questions from stats. This time only few questions from stats. Theoretical question from stats. Easy question, tough question, anything can happen. So uncertainties are there. So this, see, in Khatro Ke Khiladi program, so many reptiles, so many animals, they are shown and people are shown playing with them. What will happen? You become desensitized. You have no fear from this. Dogs walking around, barking at you, you only barking at the dog. The dog become very intimidated, dog ran away. Nearby uncle also very troubled. What kind of person is this? He is barking on the dog, dog ran away. So systematic desensitization. Now your fear, suppose somebody is fearful of these reptiles, the canines, the furry animals. These furry animals will be shown on the TV through simulation. First time exposed, lots of fear, person full of anxiety, person full of sweat, but the person will be given the favorite food. Pizza loaded with lots of butter and cheese if somebody likes it, or maybe chocolate ice cream, especially from Switzerland. Now these two stimuli are there, different stimulus. One is your fear associated with your pleasant environment. These two cannot exist. Why cannot exist? Cognitive dissonance. And since it cannot exist, systematically, gradually, this fear will run away. This is systematic desensitization. Role in IT mass media, role in your abnormal psychology. But this needs to be done in the initial stage itself. Now, some people will claim, no, it's not easy. The people who take psychology, they come from different backgrounds. They won't be able to digest this because initially the concept needs to be built. First year, 1.5 year, build the concept. Write prelims, don't clear prelims. Again next year with the demoralized approach, go and write prelims, again fail. This is not going to happen. If the teacher does not have the ability to connect the concept and the applied part in one go, even to the novices, people who come to study psychology for the first time, then it is the problem of the teacher or the problem of the students? The problem of the teacher, right or not? So the concept and application that can be combined in one go at one place, Suppose you are writing psychology mains paper. You must have seen paper 1. Chemotherapy. Chemotherapy, your relative is going through chemotherapy, and what use of psychology will be there? So that this person does not go through the adverse effects. Now, many of us are well aware of the chemotherapy because of the either the unfortunate fact that any of the relative might have undergone chemotherapy, or you must have read about it, or you must have seen it on any of the program or television or any movie. So, how can you think about how chemotherapy will affect you? So for that, first of all, you should go through chemotherapy. No, chemotherapy effects, briefly you will mention the chemotherapy is given to the patients who are suffering from cancer that cannot be treated through surgery. Then chemotherapy is used. During chemotherapy, lots of changes take place in the body. That has to be given in very brief. But how to counter these adverse effects? You have learned all the concepts of psychology, behaviorism, observation learning, cognitive psychology, attitude formation, positive attitude, persuasion, everything you have learned. But you should be told that if a generic question like this comes, these are the things, these are the chapters, these are the concepts you can apply. As I did during the discussion which I took at Vajiram Ravi, as far as test series discussion is concerned, part of the test series, I discussed that how to approach the paper 2 question regarding social change, regarding social integration, and various other parts. A framework was given. You must be given the framework. That part, if you have a framework, see, if you have to score 300 plus in psychology, it's very important that you must have your at least 4 out of 5 questions which you are supposed to do, and out of that also the 2 questions are compulsory, question number 1 and question number 5 with different subparts. 2 questions are there. Apart from that, how many questions? 3 questions remain. Then 2 out of these 3, the long questions. 2 questions out of the 3 long questions, you must have a prepared answer, and if not the prepared content completely, at least the framework. If you have the framework, it will be easier for you to write an answer, because many of the things you know, so it will be easier. You can choose the question, which one do you know better. So this preparation is beforehand. Since this preparation is lacking, preparation part is lacking, preparation is being done for what? Preparation of psychology is suffering from one syndrome, which is Hadbadiya syndrome. I call this Hadbadiya. What is happening in this Hadbadiya syndrome? 6 months plus of preparation, many unnecessary, uncanny, irrelevant details being told. You are jotting down point after point, taking so much of notes, different people coming. Now, so many people coming to deal with IT, one person, OB, one person, applied, nobody teaches, applied, gone, nobody teaches applied, you have to apply. Some points given, you take care of yourself. Stats, again being told as if stats is mathematics only. It's not mathematics. Stats is the part of the syllabus, part of the psychology, very important, significant part. Unless you see everything in an integrated manner, how it will happen? With utmost confidence and clear, frank exposition, I can tell you, if it is dealt by one person, it is possible. This one person will be able to connect. So many people coming, going, nothing is happening. Students confused. So let's integrate everything as part of your student venture, as part of your student what you can do as students. One thing is that you can be part of these kind of programs, or if you want to study on your own, as many students noted that we don't have time now, when will we prepare? After Dashara, after Diwali I will join. Then by that time it will all be over. If you have to pass the exam in 2024, apart from the preparation of psychology, there are many other things which are important, and my endeavor has always been that you pass the exam with flying colors. This is important, that you prepare your psychology up, and GS mains by when? By either December end or mid January, or you can stretch it a bit, end of January, but not after that. And what has been the endeavor here? The endeavor is, most people will so what happens? Most people will do revision of the syllabus just before the main examination. This is your main examination in September. In August, you are hurrying through the syllabus to cover it, to somehow cover it. Just before the exam, you are worried what to do. I don't know this part of the syllabus, that part of the syllabus. So that approach is not going to make you a topper, and writing the examination again and again is not required. What you need to do is, you should prepare for the exam in such a manner that you write the main exam once and you click it. Howsoever, whatsoever people might say about the uncertainty of this examination, most of the uncertainties lie in prelims. After that, main examination, if you have good preparation about your optional, which we have for psychology, then your essay, then ethics, then most of your work is done. And if you have done well in mains, then there won't be any problem further. So having said so, our program is designed in such a manner that you will be able to finish all these parts either January mid or end of January. The strategy part will be there, like how my platform will be helping you. As you can see, there are two aspects on which I personally can help you. One is psychology, then is your essay. I have evaluated the essay of many of the aspirants who wrote examination this year. They came to me after writing essay for different various platforms, and though they had given a detailed feedback, they were missing out on the important aspects. Where actually are they lacking? When I told them that these are the things you should include, their flow of the essay became much better, and I can vouch for the fact that their essay will be getting very handsome score this year itself. So in the psychology, we, apart from this program which we have already started, we will be starting another program mid of October, and it will run till January end. What all will be there? See, alternate day class in a week. One day class, next day a sectional test of 1.5 hour, where small topics, understanding the topic, the building blocks, as I call them, BBB, building blocks, BB, building blocks, that will be developed through this small test. Evaluation and feedback just before the next class will be given individually. Then again a class, then every Sunday full test, because you score in the final paper only if you have a very good writing practice. unless you have done the writing practice, unless you have understood the nuances of writing a good answer, there is no need to just know the psychology. Just knowing psychology is not going to help. As I have seen the approach of the many students who have done psychology at one or the other platform in ORN, they have focused upon gathering the knowledge. As I was taking classes earlier, there somebody asking what is neurodivergence. Now there is no harm in having a curiosity for the optional, but there is no need of this knowing neurodivergence. Then there is no need of digging too deep into something. See, I am also a person of perfection. You must know everything in detail. But if you ask me what is required, the most important aspect which differentiates people, is differentiate 300 plus scorer from the people who score 220 or 250. The main aspect is writing skill, knowing the concepts, putting it up on the paper so that it appears pleasant to the eyes also, not only the content, the way you have designed, the structure of the answer. As I always say, the examiner is looking for your concept first and foremost. Then the structure of the answer, and the structure consists of introduction, body conclusion, and the flow of the answer, how you write your answer. Unless you have understood the design of this complete scheme, you won't be able to score well. So what is required? This building of concept along with the answer writing, it will take place simultaneously. As I said, the simultaneous understanding of paper 1 and paper 2, not giving paper 1 in 4.5 months and even 5 months, and then paper 2 not even in 2 months. No dealing of paper 2, everything left for you. That is not going to help. The thing is that we must cover. And why are taking this 6 months plus? What is the requirement? There is no need. How much time is required? If you ask me 3 months or more than 3.5 months, you will be prepared completely. Because unnecessarily digging deep into each and every topic is not going to help you, because you are required to have 4-5 points. And if you save time from your optional, you will be able to devote it on essay, you will be able to devote it on various parts of the GS. Apart from the fact that ethics itself can be full of havoc if you have not understood how to score well in ethics, right? So this thing is required. If you have attended classes anywhere, it's okay. If you have not, even then I can vouch for the fact that there is not much is required. 3.5 months are enough for you to build the complete concepts. If you are a fan of unnecessarily digging deep into the topics and then finally not having enough fodder to write in the examination, then it's your choice. But this is what I have observed. Fine. So this lecture of today's lecture was regarding your firstly building your ideas, how to score well, then a brief introduction about what we are going to do. What you will be required as a person, as a student, when you join this program is the basic understanding of psychology. If you have done, it's okay. If you have not done, what I will be providing you is chapter wise precise notes. Firstly, which is mentioned in the syllabus, the precise note based on that. Then, as I have already mentioned, the sectional test. Then the full test, so that the answer writing capability is also done or dealt simultaneously. And at the end of the day, when you finish the program, then you will have enough order to write any question which is asked in the examination. And then, as has been the habit here from our platform, almost 100% strike rate in paper 2, almost 60% of strike rate in paper 1 as far as questions are concerned. the questions which we guessed, the questions which we asked, the content which we gave. It was all helpful for you to attempt the paper in a beautiful manner, and it will reflect in the score. Okay. So this was regarding our introduction, the strategy which should be followed. One thing which significant aspect which I had been telling many aspirants, and I want to you to know also, one is like the authentic sources, the original sources. Which are the original sources? Like Baron or like Cicerelli, any of them. This you must do page to page. Smarak's book is also fine. Smarak Swain's book, because that gives you a framework at least regarding the paper 2. Smarak Swain's applied psychology. Apart from that, the GS knowledge and your real life examples and all will be definitely required. But this much you must do apart from the class notes. And then I have seen that the language which most of you are writing is very simple tongue, not simple. Simple language is always preferred, but this is simpleton. Now, this simpleton language, when I say it is simpleton, it means that it is devoid of the psychological flow. That examiner is looking for a language which comes from your psychology discipline, and that will always be there if you have read these sources. Not those only notes. If you read only notes, then howsoever manipulation, howsoever maneuveration you may do, but that will not ensure that you have that language of discipline. And examiner nowadays especially have been looking for this language. Now, where do you get this language? Especially if we talk about abnormal psychology, if we talk about statistics, then this language part is completely missing. Somehow you have been able to do cognitive psychology well because of the content provided, that too not very flamboyant, that is very much a part of the average kind of language which people use. That language will not fetch you 300 plus. So from our side, we will provide you original sources like this book of social psychology, then original source of abnormal psychology, original source of stats. It will be given to you, only the significant portion, and how to read that, how to use that, that will also be provided, the strategy to use that. And as there will be continuous practice of writing, it will be part of your language. Apart from that, one thing which is very important, even after doing classes from one or the other platform, people have been in touch with me asking doubts. Definitely there is nobody to clear these doubts. Asking doubts, it will be there 24/7. You can ask doubt, it will be cleared. Then mentorship. As I was talking to one of the students who is part of our test series, she told me that before the mentorship, before the mentor call, she was unable to understand where she was making mistakes. Although the feedback was given on the script, she was not able to understand the mentorship feedback, one to one, one on one, so that you understand where are you going wrong. Unless you make these corrections, you won't be able to score. So this part also will be provided. These all endeavors will be there on the platform, and it will be helpful. Then as part of our journey of psychology, Apart from psychology, essay is also there. So this another program will start. Today was the introductory lecture, and as somebody has asked, that what will be the format of this program. Like today's lecture, I just wanted to introduce certain things. What should be your approach, how you can make this better, how you can score well. Apart from that, the lectures will be provided to those who have joined the program. If you want to join the program, you can approach me on this number. WhatsApp me, I'll deal with the questions. Then there was another question from somebody who is asking whether it will be offline. Yes, it will be offline and online both. Currently, we are doing some changes and trying to launch the platform from the name of the MJ-IAS in ORN. So some upgradations are being done. That is why we are keeping it online for the time being. But again, see, these things don't matter. Whether it is online, offline, you can ask your doubts, you can write the test. Now, you should be of the temperament that, okay, whatever the field is, whatever the pitch is, if I am a good player, I'll play. As simple as that. Now, again, the addressing the question, the main elephant in the room. Why not VNR? Why not Vajiram and Ravi? The thing is, see, as I was doing test series there are certain things which I do on my own way. Like I am an independent person, I want to do things my own way because I know if I do these steps, the students will benefit. Now there are certain rigidities. Even if when I was framing the test series, there was certain restrictive kind of mindset that these questions should always be there. Now see, now the proof of the pudding lies in eating. I have the kind of question framing I did, many questions got repeated. The kind of discussion which I did, I took only few questions, only 6 questions out of every test. But even these 6 questions, in these 6 questions, I was able to give fodder for all the questions which appeared in paper 2 UPSC mains 2023. So this thing I can do on my own platform, and there are certain other things also which I wanted to change, because aspirants unnecessarily suffer. Their 1 year is unnecessarily wasted in this humdrum of preparation. They are made to run, to wait till April end, March end, and because of that, their prelims suffers. So there is no point making them appear tired. Everything should end in January mid. Everything. Now give them time to revise. And why are you wasting their whole year? So these things will bring on our own platform. There is a requirement of fresh blood, fresh people who are creative, who teach passionately, not just doing it for money, for the sake of money, and who can address the problem of the students. So that's why we are doing it on our own platform, not under some restrictive cover and some archaic ways, the archaic ways of doing it, which is not helpful. As students have been telling me, there's no point. Everybody suffers in the first means and then they realize, okay, this was wrong. Then they start reading different sources. So that is not going to happen here. We'll be doing, like, see, in our psychology test series also, I tried to bring 25 marker. There were 15 marker, 20 marker. In certain papers, all the questions were compulsory, all 5 compulsory. If you make these changes, the person who is writing the paper will be so prepared, so well prepared, that even if certain changes are done in the examination, the person will be able to flourish. right? So this is the core of the preparation. What happens on other platforms? Notes are given, rectified, completely mugged up and given to the student. Students feel happy, oh, everything is coming through seamlessly. No, there is a requirement of manipulation, there is a requirement of maneuveration. Unless you make changes, students will not get help. And what is happening? Applied psychology not taught. Applied psychology completely left. Stats dealt like mathematics. Other people who are teaching, somebody told me OB taught in a very useless manner, no application in the examination. The organizational behavior dealt. So nobody is bothered about the result of the students. That's why there is a need to change the approach. You can also do it on your own. My basic aim is that you should pass the examination. Most of you are working hard, you are giving your time, your resources. You should be able to pass the examination. That is the endeavor. For that, what can be done? As I have already told you, one is your chapter wise precise notes. Each chapter, each topic, subtopic, precise notes. Then giving you application, that is connecting paper 1 and paper 2, taking regular test, all these things will help you. Then personal mentorship definitely is there, on call, WhatsApp or email, everything is dealt well. Alright, so what we'll do, we'll start our session. The session will start, next classes will be done. Today was introductory session. From day after, the chapters will be dealt. I know I have enough time, so I'll be able to handle it very well, and your syllabus will be covered and completely finished much before the time, unlike other platforms where although it is promised that it will end in February end, but it will go even January end, promised it goes up to March mid, April end. That does not happen here. So we'll start with the substance of the program. Tomorrow, as a gesture of goodwill for the students, I will discuss the complete paper of psychology, paper 1 and paper 2 both, in one marathon session, or we'll take a break and deal with the complete aspects of the paper 1 and paper 2. That will be also available for all, but other parts of the syllabus and other parts of this discussion series will be available for those people who have joined it, and I have made such a preparation, such an arrangement that those who are joining it will be able to converse one-on-one with me, so that the program benefits them. So with this, I would like to end this session. It was just to give you some ideas, some information, what is happening, how much you need to change the approach. These all should be there. Thank you very much for joining. Let's end the program and we'll meet. Either you approach me and we can start the program with you, or if another session starts. So with this, we'll be ending the program. Thank you very much for joining. Have a good day.